another little update. I've started the process here, and yeah, it's messy. This is a lot of area to cover, this guy, and I thought, oh, I'll just get this big bag of plaster, which I showed you last time, this guy, and size comparison, there's my foot. And I would get that and a bunch of paper towels, which I have over there as well. And I would just grab the paper towels, soak them in the plaster, lay them down, smooth them. It'll be nice and awesome. And it's not that easy. The consistency of the plaster is tough to work with. And it's heavy, so it gets on the paper towel, and all of a sudden the paper towel is really heavy. And then it dries really fast as well, which is both a good and a bad thing, because I'm working with it and I have my little bucket, and I only have about probably that much in the bucket at a time. I'm making small batches, and the stuff is starting to dry like immediately, and I don't know if it's quick dry plaster I got or what, but so what I started doing was I started doing the paper towel as fast as I could, and then once that got down and it got to a point where it was getting too hard to work with, then I would just start scooping it out of the bucket. I was wearing these rubber gloves, scooping it out and just kind of smolching it on there. That's a new word, smolching. And then what I'll do later is I'll come in, and most of this is going to be covered with scenic material, so I wasn't that worried about it. Like, there's parts where it's like, oh, there's some paper towel. I'm not worried about that at all, because it's going to be scenic. And all this stuff, again, you can see the paper towel texture in there, not concerned. But yes, it's this kind of hard to work with and hard to get down. The plaster gauze is much easier to work with. But that being said, I do like how it's turning out. This is my little hole, my little access hole. I'm going to take another piece and chop a piece of either foam core or something, the pink stuff, put that on top, and then scenic around it, and then I'll be able to lift it out and still have access to my track and whatnot in case something gets stuck in there. So that's working out great. And some of these will be nice little rock kind of croppings if I do it right. Put some scenic material here, paint this gray, chisel it, with the little clay tool. I think that will be a nice look, but it's just a lot of work. And then something else I have not used before are these Woodland Scenics little risers. I didn't use those last time. I'm using them this time, and I love the fact that the track is up high. It creates some visual interest. I think that's great. But what I'm running into is oh, I wasn't thinking this through as far as I need to have this come out a little bit. I don't want it to be the track right on an edge. Here it doesn't really matter to me because it's the bridging. But here I have to really think about how I'm going to execute that. So I might put some filler in. I know people have wadded up newspaper and put that in there and then gone over the top of that. That might be something I do as well. But I just have to think that part through, that whole area. And I also have to, I'm going to, in that back corner, there's a hole right now. Why don't we go take a look at it? Paper towel. So there's a hole back there right now that I need to address. And I thought, oh, you know what might be kind of cool is to make that a little mountain that kind of runs up the side there. Which I think I will do eventually, but until I get the background taken care of, I'm not going to do that right now. And then I have another little hole here that I'm going to address as well. So yeah, all these little things. And then the track itself comes really close to that back wall, which I'm not really a fan of, but I did it. So I might address that as well. I don't know if I just redo that section of track, make a bigger angle over on this side, crank it around a little bit, and then have it come closer in. I'll have to see. But then I have to deal with this then. So all these little things. But overall, it's, it's good. I just wanted to get some kind of start on it because I was getting really frustrated. I needed to get back to this stuff, which is the stuff I really enjoy. All the scenicking and putting buildings on and all that. And until I get the track dialed in, I'm not going to do it. And so I did it a little bit over in the harbor section just to plan out exactly where the track was going to go, and it made sense there. But yeah, I gotta dial that in. And so I figured if I worked on this and got it kind of to a point where I liked it and it was working, then I can go in, really lock the track down in this section, especially. Do things like fill in these gaps and things like that. I got the I'm using what is that called? Tile caulking this time instead of glue and things of that nature, because it was a pain to get this track up. That's a definite note. Somebody on one of the forums gave me that piece of advice: don't use glue, use this caulking stuff. And what it is it's like a rubberized kind of toothpastey kind of substance that you use for caulking. You can put that under your track. It holds it in place, but then when you want to take it off, it's like rubbery. It comes right off. So that's a good tip, pro tip there. Definitely doing that this time and not glue. So yeah, I think now it's just going in. I want to get this section like from here around to like here set. And then what I'll be able to do is I can go around and start playing around with some of the stuff I like the scenicking and things. And I think if I can do a little bit of that and get a little scenicked, then I'll be a little happier and I'll be a little more relaxed and I'll be able to tackle some of the other stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But that's basically the update for today. This is my lunchtime and evening last night doing this. And like I said, some of this is going to be kind of cool. I'm going to, sand into some of these areas, carve in, and then some will be covered like more dirt, and then some will be more rock outcroppings. And so I think that'll be cool. That'll be a nice little thing. But overall, I'm seriously thinking about investing in a few more rolls of plaster gauze for the remaining areas around here, just because this has been it's been a dark process. It has not been fun. Yeah, it's been a little fun, but it's definitely not as easy as plaster gauze. So I can see the appeal. But that whole bag of this plaster stuff that I got was, I think, $15 maybe, and I've done all this, with like one roll of paper towel, not even two. This has been one roll. So financially, this makes a ton of sense. And I'm sure if I had a little more experience using this stuff, it would be a lot easier to deal with. But I don't have that experience. So yeah, this is the width I'm going for the rest of this, I think. And so it's basically coming in and filling in more of this kind of deal here. So we'll see how that goes. Take it around here, just add another inch, and I think it'll be okay. So yeah, that's the update. And again, thanks for viewing, and any comments, questions, etc. are always welcome. Thanks a lot.